Richard Herod III, and I am neurodivergent. I have brain injury, so I now have a different life than what I'm used to. And I'm not in control of my symptoms, I'm not in control of how these manifest in my life, but I am in control of my perception of it and what I do next. I would like to take you on a journey, and I'd like to ask all of you a question. By a show of hands, oops, my hand got too clicky. I apologize. Has anyone in this room ever had a brain injury or an invisible illness? Okay, I see show of hands. Anyone in this room have something invisible that they're comfortable sharing, like fibromyalgia? Anyone in the room suffer from fibromyalgia? I see, is that Maureen in the back? Okay, one, I see you. I believe you. And I suffer next to you in silence. There are so many injuries and illnesses that are invisible. I met someone this morning that we were just swapping stories, and she said, I'm treating for cancer right now. And you wouldn't know it. In this room, there are people suffering next to you, and you don't know why. Sometimes if somebody's off, we're not the same, it might be because they have something going on. So whether it's PTSD, fibromyalgia, brain injury, HIV, anxiety, depression, a broken heart, loss of a loved one, cancer, dementia, so much more. Invisible injuries are hard because people can't see them, and when they can't see them, they can't be empathetic like they would if you were wearing a cast. Think about that. It sucks. It's the biggest problem I have with having an injury that can't be seen. Now, has anyone in this room been a provider for someone with an invisible illness or injury? By a show of hands. So, my husband stands next to you because he is the provider at home that had to watch me go from the man that he met to the man that he got. And unfortunately, the brain injury happened after we met and before we got married. My husband had to marry someone he didn't meet. My temperament's not the same. There's a bunch of things that I used to do and used to be. I'm not that man anymore. And that is so hard for me to compare myself to how I used to perceive myself, right? It's like I'm in competition with a man I will never meet. Now, as a former car dealer, I welcome competition. So bring it, let's go. In my current life, I don't get to play that game. And definitely, I don't get to compete with myself and have it be a healthy conversation. So I want to have you join me on a journey through my life. I'm 6 years old. My parents, like many in this world, were divorcing. And on my 6th birthday, my mother left. And she said, here's a gift from your grandmother, goodbye. The gift was a Matchbox car set. So what did I start to do? Play with cars. Anyone see where my passion for cars came from? So in the gift of my mother leaving my family on my birthday, my passion for cars began. It took that traumatic event to build me into who I became. And I don't know that any child would ever choose to have a parent leave. But I will be that child that will look for the positive in that moment. Storytelling. I grew up the child of 2 deaf parents. You Yes, baby, that's the story I'm going to tell. He interrupts me, and now he's doing it with his face. So I have two deaf parents, and I live with my father and my brother, and I remember my father talking to me about the chicken and the fly. Now, the sad part of this story is I will never forgive my father for talking to me about the birds and the bees. I remember at the age of 10, my father said, Richard, when you become a man, we will talk about what? Chicken and the fly. And I'm like, Dad, do you mean the birds and the bees? No, Richard, chicken and fly. Shut up. Okay. You soon become a man. Your balls will fall. I'm like, what? You will go to gym class. You play basketball, volleyball, you jump up. What happens? Your balls will fall. Dad, what do I do? Go, buy a bike. Go. Buy a bike. So I worked all summer, and I saved money, and I bought a bike, and I was so proud of it. And when I brought it home, I had a bike. But again, like the communication misunderstanding of chicken and bird and fly and bee, the bike he was talking about was this one. So, obviously I survived the chicken and the fly, made it through high school with a lot of brain damage from that, especially. 17 years old, I have a lot of challenges ahead. I graduate from high school, I enter college, and I'm gonna do something big in the car industry. Graduated high school and then entered University of Wisconsin, River Falls. Graduated 3.5 years, 2 majors, 1 in business, 1 in marketing communications. Did 4 college internships and did it all in 3.5 years. Kind of an overachiever at that time, but I was pretty proud of what I did. I started working at Saturn at the age of 19 as a cashier, and I had one employer my entire adult life. From 19 years old until last August, I worked at Saturn in St. Paul, which then became Wiper Mitsubishi when GM ended their relationship with Saturn consumers. It took me years of therapy to say it that way. At 22, I was a proud ambassador of Saturn and everything that they were doing. And yes, I did have a yellow Saturn because I had to. It was just what I did at that point. I sold a lot of cars when we were Saturn, and obviously when we became Suzuki and Mitsubishi, I continued that, and it was a pleasure to help keep that business going. And I was obsessed. I wasn't given a franchise that was easy, and Saturn wasn't really easy. I mean, they sold plastic cars, and you paid the price on the window sticker. I mean, could there be anything less, like, that's not how people bought cars. They weren't plastic, and you didn't pay the price on the window. Saturn had this thing where our cars don't dent, our cars don't rust, and yes, that's the price. So I learned about customer service from that, and I became obsessed with how to bring cars and people and make happiness happen at the same time. And that's where I learned my passion for community. And the White Bear Lake community has always been very kind to me. Very, very kind, no matter what franchise I had the pleasure of being a part of. And whether it was a viral video, being a part of Mitsubishi's advisory board, or racing my Saturn on the track, it was a fun life. Oops, I didn't know that I did that. So then, as part of this whole journey, I came out and helped really put myself and Wrights on the scene in 2012, I was part of the Vote No movement and helped create the constitutional amendment that enshrines the right for people to get married even if they were of same sex. And it was a pleasure for me to be part of that, and that's one of my legacies. Then my life changed. May 3rd, 2021, my life changed forever on Highway 61. I was sitting at a traffic light, turned my head to the left. That's where the Cadillac dealership would be built. Turned my head to the right. That's where the Subaru dealership was. And I wanted to always outsell them. Locked eyes with the gentleman next to me, and his eyes started to get huge. Almost cartoon-like. He saw something I didn't. He saw the car behind me that wasn't stopping. He hit the gas instead of the brakes. And within an hour of the crash, I was in the emergency room, being on my journey of being diagnosed with my brain injury and my new life and my newfound neurodivergence. And we didn't know all of what was wrong with me, what would happen, but I got to lose everything. My doctors got to the point where they said, Richard, your life as you know it is over. And I had to close one of my businesses and sell the land. And then I had to sell my interest in White Mitsubishi, which was the store I started at when I was 19. It was really hard for me because I had 120 families that I supported. I was able to sponsor the community in a way that I was very proud of. And the way that I lived my life, I feel was ripped away from me. My life now is almost like 50 First Dates. Anyone seen that movie? It's this movie where Drew Barrymore wakes up every day not remembering what happened the last day, and Adam Sandler has to get her to fall in love with him every single day. I'm not saying that my husband has to get me to fall in love with him, because, he's beautiful, right? Even in Nurse Scrubs, he's fire. But I wake up and I don't remember why my head hurts. Sometimes it's not till I look in the mirror and realize that my life is different. I'm a different person. I don't know why my head hurts so much. I'm neurodivergent. It's just who I am. Every single day, I wake up and I remember who I am at a different part of the day. The parts and pieces I will never be, and the parts and pieces I still get to be. So, finding purpose after tragedy. That's the phase of my life I'm in now. A year ago, August 2nd was the day that I had to retire. And I had to stand in front of my team of people that I had to leave them. And it was a soul-crushing day for me. I wanted to only be the owner of White Mitsubishi forever, but I didn't get to make that choice any longer. And ironically, I had to continue on the journey of trying to heal myself. And sort of in that process, I was given clearance to try to work part-time. And even though I changed my email and my phone number, people that bought cars from me for 28 years somehow still found me and said, "Man, looking for a Honda Accord, can you help me?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm retired." Like, "Oh, I know, I heard about that, I'm so sad. I'm looking for a white Honda Accord." And I'm like, no, I really mean I'm retired, I don't work now. And they're like, "Oh, I know. But since you're not working and you're so amazing, can you help me find a white Honda LX with gray cloth interior?" So then I put together a website dealer partners, and now I help people buy cars of all makes and all models in the amount of time that I'm given. My life today, I am asleep more hours of the day than I'm awake. I sleep 12 to 16 hours a day, depending on how much overnight and how many naps I have. Like an old iPhone. I still can text, still can make phone calls, and surf the web, slowly because of the ads. But I have to plug in often. My battery wears down. But I still get to do something with that time I have left of the day. So while I may not be what I was before, I get to be who I am now. Anyone see the movie The Butterfly Effect? Ashton Kutcher has this ability, thinks, rechanges his life, and he wakes up the next morning with a new reality and a bloody nose. That's been my life this last year. A year ago, I thought I would never be on TV as the White Bear Mitsubishi guy, and I wasn't. Now that I'm on Twin Cities Live, one of my weeks a month, I'm on TV with the White Bear. How the heck did that happen? It didn't happen because I stayed feeling sorry for myself. It didn't happen because I was focused on all the things I couldn't do anymore. But it happened because I allowed myself the chance to say, well, what's left? What can I do? If I can't do this, how can I still have purpose? How can I still provide meaning and help to the community in a way that I find fun? And I'm trying to find that, right? I don't like bloody noses, I'm not encouraging that. But this last year, I never would have predicted this moment. I never would have predicted that I am able to stand in front of the people in White Bear Lake that were so wonderful to every phase of my career, every franchise in my career. Our business is, or my business was what it was because of the people of White Bear Lake. I'm so grateful for that. And now the people of White Bear Lake still continue to give me purpose with opportunities to talk like this. So here we are. Whiplash. Yes, I had whiplash and severe injuries in the crash, but major life changes in this last year have continued to give me what feels like whiplash. What I thought I could count on, sometimes I can't. Everything this last year has been hard. But I've had to look for what is good in my life. My family, my dogs, Bruiser and Reese, my husband, the fact that my father, even though he has Alzheimer's, still remembers who I am. I have to be grateful for all of the things. So I want to talk to you about fractional happiness. This idea that in your life, that it may not be all happy. In fact, my guess is most of it probably isn't. Or it's inconvenient, or it's not fun, or it's not inspiring, right? But does anyone really have a perfect life from the time they wake to the time they go to sleep? I mean, some of us live a pretty exciting life in their dreams, Charles. Sometimes your life can be positive when you're asleep, and sometimes it can be negative when you're asleep. But you need to find the ways for you to be happy when you can be happy. I love this quote. Ring the bells that you still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. That's from Leonard Cohen from Anthem. Gratitude. Paul Walker said this. Someone is in the hospital right now begging God for the opportunity that you have. Don't you dare go to bed depressed. Count your blessings and shake it off. Doesn't matter if you like Taylor Swift or not. you need to try. Because his life ended doing what he loved. I want you now to join me and find a single joy. I want you to close your eyes and think of one small thing that brings you joy. Okay? Open your eyes, please. How many in the room saw something visual, was in perfect clarity, and you saw what brings you happiness? How many of you? Good. Audience participation is appreciated. Thank you so much. That's where we need to start. Celebrate all the things that bring you joy, the people, the friends, children, parents, animals, White Bear Lake, the surroundings around us. Be grateful, be full of gratitude. Because fractional happiness can be within inside every single one of us. We have a choice. We have a choice to focus on all the things that are wrong in our lives. But we can also focus and amplify the good. And even if it's only 5 or 10 minutes a day of goodness, before we sleep, we should reflect on that 5 to 10 minutes of happiness. Because if we can go to bed thankful, maybe we can wake thankful. And I know I try. Not every day, but I try. So, I want to leave you with this thought. We are all just one accident, one diagnosis, one expected phone call away from a completely different life. Stay humble and don't take anything for granted. Thank you.